Hi guys, it's me Annie. I hope you all are doing great tonight. And tonight I am coming at you with this monochrome mani, another fast and easy one. So let's begin. And here are the items that I've used in tonight's manicure. I have my lint roller, some acetone, my top coat, my stamping polish, as well as my base colors. I have some jewels that I've decorated the nails with. I have a sponge stamper for the gradient work. If you do not have this, you can grab a cosmetic sponge or even an eyeshadow sponge. I also have my stamping plate, my scraper, and my stamper. And for my tools, I have some cotton on a cotton claw. I have a little wax pencil that I use to pick up my jewels. If you don't have one of this, grab yourself a little tweezer or a dotting tool, something that can grab that jewels, and also a cleanup brush. So now that we have everything together, let's get started. Alright guys, so as you could see, I've already gotten a head start on doing the manicure. Basically what I did is I went ahead and painted all my nails in white, and any white will do, but if you want to know which color I use the pop-arazzi brand, and this one is called Icing on the Cake. And for the gradient, I am actually going to use my Sally Hansen nail polish number 622 Retro Grade. And to do the gradient work tonight, I'll be using a little gradient stamper here, a sponge stamper. Some of you might know this as. If you do not have one of this, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and you can grab a cosmetic sponge or a little eyeshadow sponge. That works well. So let's get started with the gradient, and I am not going to apply white to it just yet. I'm going to try and just punch in the gray in there and blend it in, because I have done that with a few of the nails and it came out pretty well, so I didn't need to go in and actually use the white. So if we do need to use the white, we'll go back to that. So I know a lot of you probably know how to do gradient work out there. I'm just doing it back to show the people that doesn't know how easy it is. So I've brushed on some nail polish on that sponge, as you could see, and basically I'm just going to tap it in from the cuticles going towards the tips of the nail. And I just want to make sure the ones at the cuticle stays nice and dark, and then just fade it out going down in the middle. And I want to keep the tips nice and white. And as you can see, this is pretty harsh, so there is a lot of gray in there. So now I can go back, and the same white that I apply my base on, I'm going to go ahead and do gradient work on that. So basically what you do is taking the other side of the brush, the dry side here, brushing on the white nail polish to that, and then I'll be working my way from the tips going upward instead. So let's see, that should be enough. I just brushed on like 2 strokes of that, and basically just kind of blending it in, taking away some of that harsh gray. Do the same for all of the nails, and it takes a little while to dry. It's not that long. You have to wait for them to dry. They do it pretty quick, and I kind of lighten it up a little, which is more or less what I want. So this one has too much of a straight line on it. I don't like the way that one looks, so I'm just going to blend in some more white to take that line away and kind of conceal it just a little bit, so it looks a little bit evenly, it flows into each other a little nicer, so to speak. Blend it in a little more, and it's a little better. It's not perfect, and it's okay if it's not perfect for this, because the stamping is gonna hide most of that. So I'm not really doing perfection gradient tonight. You know, I'm just doing to give it a little bit of a two-tone color. And that's pretty much it for the gradient. It's not hard. You just have to play with it and sponge in the colors as much as you want. And now we can go ahead and we can get stamping. The stamping plate I am using tonight is from my Kads collection, and this is plate number 014. And the design I will be using is actually this one right here. And I'll be stamping with my Born Pretty black stamping polish, as well as the Born Pretty stamper. So we can go ahead. This is probably dry enough to go ahead and stamp in, so we'll go ahead and start the stamping and have yourself your scraper and all your stuff ready before you do this. And I'm just going to do the middle finger. I am keeping the ring fingernail bare for my accent nail tonight. So being that the rest of the fingernails are the same design, I'm only going to show you one of them because it's such a simple design. Get yourself a nice clean scrape on this, as well as a nice clean pickup. This one came out really good. And then I'm going to flip that over and take the middle and line it up right a little bit under the tips of the nail. I'll show it to you in a second. Let me do it first. And then I'm pressing down. So there it is. The tips remain white. And then I'm just rolling this little design on there. And right after that, I'll go in and just tap down the lifted edges. And that's what you'll continue to do for the rest of your nails. Very, very simple. So now for the accent nail, I am just going to apply one tiny little jewel. So we can do that immediately. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and remove my latex. So if you are using latex of any sort or any peel, now would be a good time to do it because you don't want any of that stamping remnants on the peel there to fall back when you go ahead and apply your top coat. So let me just do that really quickly. And there we go, nice and clean. Just taking out a little excess latex that I have on the nail there. Pressing down on the little image that's lifting off to keep it on the nail for now. And also removing this one. And at this point also, when you're done removing the latex, if you have any cleanup to do, you can go ahead and take your little cleanup brush and clean up around the edges of the nails. Be very careful not to hit the nail walls, your side walls especially, because that could ruin the manicure. And it doesn't seem like I have too much or any work at all to do with the cleanup brush tonight, so I got lucky on that. So the next thing we're gonna do now, like I said, is we're gonna apply the jewels. And I'm just using some tiny little rhinestone tonight. And I'm using one of my favorite little tool, which is the wax pencil, to pick these little guys up. So I'll use two of them. I am using the medium size one. Here we go. Two little jewels. Have that ready before you start top coating. And of course, I'm just going to repeat myself as far as how you top coat over your stamping images. When you do stamp your images on, the nail polishes is on there and it feels dry. However, when you put top coat on there, as soon as the top coat hits that design, that nail polish gets really soft and melted once again, and then it starts to settle in. So in order not to smush that up and smear it up and mess your whole manicure up, this is my advice to you. You always go in with a loaded brush. Do not skimp on it. You do not want that brush to be dry. So always go in with a loaded brush and start from one end and move your way across the nail. Do not swipe over the same spot twice. You will definitely mess that image up. And also cap the tips of your nail. And I'll show you what I mean with that. So here we go. My brush is nice and loaded. I'm just going to do it back again. I still think I need more. Nice and filled, as you could see. And I'm going to start from this end and work my way towards the end of the nail. And now this is what I mean by capping your nail. And as you can see, there's a little gray on that. That's what I'm talking about. As soon as that nail polish hits, it goes in and it melts that stamping polish again, and then that's how you could smear it. So you really want to take your time. So capping your nails is basically taking a little bit of the polish and going on the tips of your nails and securing and sealing that polish on there. When you're done doing that, right away go in and get your jewel and place it right at the base of the nail there. Tap on it or press it down a little to secure it into that top coat. That will let the jewel get locked into place and it doesn't fall off that easily. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's top coat the accent nail. Again, I'm doing it the same way. Even though I didn't stamp on this, I am doing it the same way. I'm treating it the same way. And get my little jewel and sticking that down. I am going to go over these nails again with one more layer of my top coat, just to lock those little gems in, those little jewels, because like I say, I don't like them to move and I don't like them to fall out too quickly. So I have noticed when I apply 2 or even 3 layers of top coat on them, they tend to stay in for a week or even more. So before we go on to the next top coat layer, I wanted to show you this nail got a little gray at the tips. It's not a problem. Just go back in now, get a detailing brush if you have one, or I am just going to use my nail polish brush. But basically, just get a little bit of nail polish on that and go right back in and just go over the tips. Just the tips. So it looks nice and white. And be very careful. You don't want to hide that exterior design that you have on that one little line of black there. And then you go back in again and you go ahead and polish over the nails, and that should be done. So let's do that really quickly. And I am going to go over my jewels this time. I'm going to take a lot of that top coat, go on top of it and around it. This particular top coat tends to not mess with the shine on the jewel. So I like this one. That's the Out the Door brand. And as you could see, the second layer of top coat, I did swipe over the same spot twice. I went over it 3 times and it did not affect the actual image. So the first layer protected the image and the second layer does not affect it. And we'll go over this. And that is pretty much it for this manicure. Take a look at the pictures for closer details and I'll be right back. So here it is, guys. This is what the finished manicure looks like. I do hope you all enjoyed the video tonight. And of course, if you have any questions, always feel free to write to me. I will answer you as best as I can and as fast as I can. And don't forget to subscribe for my upcoming newest videos as well. And thank you all so very much for popping by and watching. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.